This is your weekend market review for Friday, November 7, 2025.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, November 7th, 2025. Again, have been out of town for what seems like forever. Didn't have any recording studio stuff. Took some time, a break to kind of recharge. Went fishing, hung out with the family, did a lot of cool things. Also, as life is changing, looking into where I will be in the future. Again, life is good. Missed everybody. Appreciate all the love, support, the generous donations, just the comments. Again, if I ever seem like I'm disappearing, hit me up. I really don't. It's either I got things going on in life or I'm not recording. And typically if I'm not recording, I'm still in the Discord room, which is link in description below, and posting trades and doing the best we can to keep people updated. But as I say, ultimately reach out. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate. You know I'm here. So let's get into it. We know next week we have inflation data. We got a little bit of earnings basically winding down next Thursday, Friday. I mean, the market and the position is in. It's kind of a sneaky one. And this is what's reminded me of the early 2000s is that tech's peaking. Some of the major commodity names that I follow, again, especially like rare earth stuff, has pulled back pretty heavily. And now that you're seeing money come out of tech, certain tech, not all tech, semis seems like it, certain other ones, where's that money going to find a home? Do you think inflation's done? I don't. I think this is a multi-year cycle. Again, gold typically leads commodity cycles. And again, it doesn't look that bad. So, I mean, gold has peaked, I think, near term. Again, if you ever watch the previous ones, talk about the seasonality of mid-December, typically being a good place to buy it. But we'll dig into all of that. But at this point, be safe out there. Again, long-term, still like small caps, right? Still love commodities, materials, all that stuff, and you drop it on your foot. I am telling people again, the more you're up, the less you should own when it comes to tech. That's just my perspective. Again, especially the Mag 7, because they will become what I think is the ATM for the next wave of the next bull cycle. Because that's the thing, right? Things rotate. What's once led doesn't always lead. So keep that in mind. Again, do the channel. Check out Discord rooms in below. If you like posting trades, thoughts, ideas on the Twitter. If you'd like to chat, use the Calendly link. Let me know how I can help you. Again, another one of my business projects. Again, because I try to explain to people, trading, investing. Again, I text with people all the time too. And you can just tell their emotions just ruin all sense of knowledge, discipline, and understanding the market. And, you know, that's what I really am now more passionate about, is actually helping people unlock their greatest potential, recognizing everything is basically a biomechanical feedback loop. And your programming, your past, your environment, your history, whatever, it all affects that. And that's what is really cool about once you understand that. As again, I love talking with Eric about this. We always kind of joke and we joke about this in the past. Trading isn't hard. We make it hard. I promise you, it really is. So check out the website. Also, a bunch of blog articles and ideas, thoughts, concerns. Anyway, follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, if you are on YouTube, don't be surprised that I ask you the same thing I always do. Like, check out the educational videos. There's 52 of them. Plenty of insights. Also, check out tradingagent.com. Resources, ideas, thoughts, contact me. Let me know how I can help. Because again, I'm not a financial advisor. Again, go do your own diligence. Consult with your financial advisor. This is an education channel only. But ultimately, again, I'm trying to help people. That's all we can do. So let me know how I can help. That's what I would like to do, is to help people. Because again, I think the hardest thing about finding your own independence in trading is finding legit knowledge. And people are like, oh, another one of those guys. No, legit knowledge. People who follow, people who've been involved in this know this is legit. But this isn't easy. Like if you're looking for what I consider just the answers, again, teach a man to fish, catch his own, give the man fish. Again, we do both. But ultimately, I want people who want to do this and learn to grow. So fear and greed index, always keep an eye on this. It's an extreme fear. It doesn't really feel like it should be, right? But I think what's going on is I think we're in between what I would call, like, you know, we know the government is going to, they're not going to shut it down anymore. It's ironic that both, I mean, again, you can argue both ways. Both, you know, the shutdown benefited riling up the bases for each party, one more than the other, in my opinion, going to election. Now that it's past the midterm, not the election, but the midterms, or whatever these are, shit terms, now I think the market is going to, again, this is where I think it'll either retest the high or hold up into the end of the year, because I think that anticipation of it will be an exit potentially. But again, 2026 is going to be very, very, very interesting, right? Fed watch tool we know coming up in December. What is it? I think they're expecting to cut rates one more time this year. Let me just double check her. Current target. No, it looks like, oh yeah, they're looking to do one more cut. And so do you think the market might hold up into that? But also too, like this is why I got the CPI that you got two more, actually December 10th. So you have one more reading between now and then. So worth keeping an eye on. All right. Natural gas. Said before I left, really like it. Left in September. Nice rally. If you bought the blues. Again, I'm going to probably pat myself on the back for a few things. Then a few, I'm going to be like, it was wrong. But that's part of the process. So let's go deeper. Because again, I like natural gas. I like all this stuff. We talked about oil. You know, a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to fall out of its ass. I honestly think oil, and we talked about, and we was out of town, it's like this mid 50s area, like that, don't sleep on that. Right? I would not be sleeping on this area. If we get another retest, cool. If not, whatever. But again, I don't know if oil has bottomed, but it looks like a good place to take stabs. We talked about oil names. Again, I like them. If you're gonna, it's depending if you're investing versus trading. If you're investing, man, some of those names look like you just sit on them and wait. Dollar, we talked about this, man, in September being kind of choppy around the range lows. Again, my charts, I didn't up the charts. I have a different computer when I was out of town, and so I didn't upload the software. So we'll be doing some drawing. Said it probably due to bounce. You got it. I really don't have much. Again, I just like to watch the dollar for volatility. We talk about bonds. Again, we talk about if you bought these in the low mid 80s, probably going to go higher, but now it's pulled back some. And this is where, again, I've tried to warn people, like bonds could be a sloppy, choppy son of a biscuit. So again, you can buy the lows, trade around it, but man, bonds, I don't know if the place to be. The VIX was up to 22 and change today. Had a really big pop to open, gave it right back, right? Like, I mean, it's just hard to really trust a big wipeout until what? I don't know. The VIX got back down to 15, but I mean, the fear and greed index down in the 20s, that's just way too low. VIX seems to be just chopping around, not seeing anything much. Spider, S&P. This is where it gets interesting, right? So we talked about, like, I thought we'd ultimately pull back harder, and here you go, wrong. But this is the thing, as we talked about, like, you can't just keep shorting. So been playing commodities, playing some, I mean, again, some tech short has been better, right? We talked about certain like Meta, certain names within the tech space. But at this point, like when I connect it all together, I mean, it's hard to expect. If you go into seasonality, what I would expect it to be is like something maybe like this. Go study the past, right? Like, so we're like right here, somewhere in this range, make a new high, you chop around, end of the year, you make, you know, you kind of hold up into the first quarter. That's when I think if the patterns repeat that you're going to have to wait to see the big kahuna. Now, again, trade deals, there's so many things out there that could change this. But as of right now, I mean, this is where I was looking at today. Is like, if you can get over this area, I don't know why you wouldn't go back higher. 50 days holding, the fear and greed index. I'd love to see the fear and greed index like in the fucking 90s, not in the 20s. QQQ, again, I think this is the cash ATM for the market. We've talked about it. I mean, you can see the money flow, and it's just not confirming any of this. But this is where, again, I hate stochastics, and I hate these. Don't want to swear. I was going to say mother boop, who like live and die by it. I'm like, I've seen, like, here you go. Look, oh, it looks like it's just grinds higher. Now we hit the 50-day today, which is key, and we bounced. Again, I think tech is the weakest sector. Now IWM now could be weak here because it has been kind of lagging, which fine by me, bro. Fine by me. I like small caps long term because, again, Trump is trying to bring money back into the United States. Companies will be investing in the United States in these businesses. And they've underperformed for fudge sakes ever. I like small caps on dips. Again, we talked about it. Again, if you bought in April, take some profits. And again, this is if you're like managing your portfolio. We said take some profits. and now you wait for dips to add back. So say again, I went 1,000% all in at the lows here, and we talked about why and how and the plan was. But this is the thing. Now I'm about 70% out as small caps. I mean, if they run higher, great. I'll wait for another bigger dip. But it's like, I am not going to just bury my head and go, well, I got the bottom, so I'm just going to be cool. I don't even know why I pulled this thing up. Who gives a shit? Gold. This is what we talked about. Blow off top. Again, if you're in the Discord, we talked about like this. Again, not surprising, right? Blow off top, straight line moves. We always say you got to be effing careful. Now what, right? Well, again, just updating something I told you I didn't draw. I haven't been like trading gold since I've been back. But we talked about like, I wouldn't be surprised if it just pulled back till mid-December. Where, I mean, the best place obviously would be down here, but I don't know if we have that kind of pullback. What I would guess is that, this straight line move either just kind of bases out and then it just builds to go higher again. It just seems like there's such crazy demand out there for gold. And again, sorry, Bitcoin bros. I think Bitcoin sucks. Oh, I forgot to do Bitcoin. Sorry. I'm speaking of that. Well, hold on. Why is it doing that? Bitcoin, Coinbase, US dollar. Show me my charts. I'm sorry. It's just, again, I've said for a long time, I think it's just going nowhere. Right? You break out, you fake out. Now you're back at the range lows. It just, I'm sorry. It's more of a risk on asset than a risk off. And this is where I think people don't understand. Like, how many times have you ever seen an asset that you're trading bottom when everyone's yelling buy? I'm like, that's not how it happens. Because what's going to probably happen is a ton of leveraged Bitcoin longs that get liquidated. Michael Saylor. That's when I'd be looking to buy. Like, just pure panic. Pure emotional. Bitcoin sucks. Altcoin. Like, that's when I would have any interest. Silver, as we talked about, same kind of thing. Nice run. If you bought these names and you bought Bitcoin, this is what you're used to. If you bought the commodity names, some of them, especially certain ones better, you got the fucking ripper. GDXJ. And now again, near term, I wouldn't be surprised if they consolidate. Again, I like these names going to the holidays. Mid-December, man. I don't know. I could be wrong. These could be bottoming. I just highly doubt it. Because again, this is one of the things that we talk about. Like, the bigger the up move, I got to fly in my house. You ever get one of those little fruit flies? They're fucking annoying. Man, I really gotta work on the swearing. After a big move, consolidation's normal. Either it's a bigger pullback, and again, you'll see them in the rare earth names, which look like they're due for some big bounces, or you get high and tight chop. Either way, it's not really fun. AEM, we talked about this one being a beast. If you would have bought this down in the freaking 80s, 90s, nice work. Looks like the blow off top. AG. This one hasn't been acting as good, but if you zoom out, you can see why. But hey, watch that 50-day. I mean, I didn't. Yeah, that one's going on the list. Again, this is why I love doing this live. Watch the 50-day. And this is what I do. I create a trading list. It's not rocket science, right? And you just copy, paste, you just move it. I mean, it's not rocket science how easy this stuff is, right? I'm taking some notes too. I like to have it written down. I'm such a dork. At 50-day, or sorry, 100-day. At 10:20. I mean, I would just, set the alarm, see what happens if it gets back there. If it doesn't get back there, well, oh well. Royal Gold. I mean, some of these names, look at them, like just the 200-day. They look. That's where, again, I think they're due to bounce. I think it's a tradable bounce. It's just I don't know if I want to trade them because I think there's other better names. Silver Wheaton, FNB. I mean, look at all these names, right? 100-day. Like, again, they look like they're due to bounce. Newmont. I know some folks who bought Newmont. Looks like it's already bounced, but again, I'm not that I wouldn't recommend it. I just don't know how to say it other than after this big move, I just don't want to play in this game because I feel like it didn't pull back deep enough to get more of a slingshot. Now, again, high and tight is bullish, but I wouldn't be surprised if they played the shakeout game, which, again, I hate the shakeout game. I don't want to be a part of. Let's get into tech. Adobe. This thing's been a dog. Nothing to say here. Applesauce. Rather impressed. It made new highs. I didn't think that was coming. Here you go. I thought we had failed here. And then when we gapped over, and then we retested, I'm like, oh, that was a fucking trap. Lower high. Nope. Wrong. Amazon. This one's been chopping around, holding up. Haven't had really much of an opinion on it. But when it held the 200-day, you can't really short it. Meta, we said this thing was fucking toast. You're welcome. Again, shorted this, said it would bounce. Again, I don't know if you're, I think I'm updating these charts. I said, watch this area when I was in Idaho. Kapowski. Now, near term, probably oversold. What if it bounces back? I'd be watching now the 200. I mean, shit. Here we go. Bring it on back somewhere right in there. That would be very interesting. Good old Sierra. Again, I think Meta is toast, guys. I mean, sorry, the people who buy it and just buy and hold forever. This one's been a choppy, sloppy mess. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, tech just looks like shit. Some tech. Guggenheim's been holding up better. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, this is the thing. Like, this candle looks rather ominous, but doesn't mean it has to fail. Microsoft, right, went nowhere and then double tested. Now making new lows. I mean, you better hold this 492. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Not all tech looks the same, y'all. And again, if they overinvested in AI, and they're not going to get the payout, in my opinion. I mean, it's just a game. We'll see. NDAQ. Again, we talked about shorting this one. Congratulations, if you have it. Keep an eye on it. MicroStrategy said this thing looked like shit for a while. Said this was going to be a problem, and then you backed up, and ever since it's been. Again, Bitcoin near new highs. I mean, I think this is a potentially near-term tradable bottom. Again, we get a bounce to the 20-day. But Michael Saylor gonna get margin called. And again, I'm not like cheering for it, but it's like, I mean, if you study the market dynamics long enough, you just recognize whales eat whales, sharks eat sharks, whatever you want to call it. Somebody knows how to press the buttons. And I've heard BlackRock is actually, they're taking his Bitcoin. I don't know. We'll see. Again, don't quote me on any of it because, again, it's just hearsay. I'm not in the know. I'm just relaying the rumors. Netflix, this is one we said was toast. It's gone nowhere. Nowhere. Kind of look at it. I was like, okay, 50. Keep an eye on. Again, Roblox said to a friend of mine, like, after they had some issues, and this was it. Chop, chop, flop, flop. Now, again, some of these names oversold, due for a bounce. Cybersecurity names, we like them. They seem to be holding up pretty well. Again, near term, just watching the 20-day. PanW, another one we've always liked. It's in the cybersecurity name. Looks a little choppy, but keep an eye on it. Good old Tesla. If you bought the TSLA down way at the lows when we talked about it, nice work. Now, near term, look what happened. You're back at the high. I mean, I think Elon stepped out. He's going to get his $1 trillion pay package. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it can't go higher. It looks better than some names, right? It looks better. But this is the thing, right? Like, until you get over the old highs, I don't know if you really can trust it. Semiconductors, right? This is where it gets a little sketchy, right? Blow off topping. Right, AVGO. I mean, these things, if you zoom out, like just big effing runs. Like, duty to consolidate or chop. Intel, again, I think they do get that 40-something price tag. Somebody's buying the calls on it. Just keep an eye on it. SMCI, I mean, look at this thing, right? We talked about, like, once it broke the wedge, look, you made a lower high, lower. Now it's purgatory. NVIDIA, I'm surprised they brought this up to 209, but I'm not really. It's like it get up there for a minute, and they sold as fast as it could pop. We talked about this, like, because I was wrong. It definitely went higher. But when I was out of town, I was telling you I was short in NV. I bought NVDS, closed it out, did not get back into it, but definitely traded it from this like 200 level and down to the 50-day, and didn't make a ton of money. But just like, man, I haven't gone back to shorting these things yet because I literally just had the capacity, been pretty busy. But I mean, you got AMAT this week. I don't know. I'd keep an eye on these names. I just don't like shorting the short, right? Like, I'm not going to short after it's already dropped. I need like some sort of reference or a bounce. AMD seems to be better than NVIDIA, in my opinion, has more upside potential. Micron seems to be holding up pretty well. Taiwan Semi, again, when I was on vacation, said watch that 300 area. It looks pretty, like, this is an easier short to like a reference, right? Like, when they V up and they don't have one, you have to look for the candle. The choppy ones are a little easier, right? Like, if you go look at, here's an example. Ooh, excuse me. AMD, when it peaked
Like you knew that was it right after a large run. Here, I mean, you get the gap up. This is the choppiness, right? I guess old high. Just again, some names look worse than others. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I'm not in these names, and so again, at this point, I think they make sense to short. Like again, if you were going to disappear and tell me in 6 months time, I think they'll be lower. I can bet you that. But how that's going to play out, I don't want to play with it. Good old Palantir chopping around, right? This one, Michael Berry's shorting it. Keep an eye on it. Oh, Insight. Who bought this in the 50s? You're welcome. Told you this thing was going. Told you this thing was going to be a buyout target. You're welcome. Again, I don't gotta give her, ask for credit where credit's due, but man, I told you guys this thing was a buyout target. Again, every once in a while, I'm pretty good with bios because I know people that are who use the products and they rave about them. I don't really know about the company so much as just the products, and they're like, hey, man, this stuff works. It's like, great. Well, that's a good way to invest, right? It's like finding something that is a good product, retail product. Could be like great restaurant chain, right? Like you hear people think there's good stuff, and it's like it's not rocket science. Speaking of just choppiness, we talked about this thing being a piece of shit. You're welcome. Just leave it alone. Like it's a trading stock. Baba chopping around. I got nothing on that one. McDonald's. Keep an eye on this one, right? Going nowhere fast if you want. I mean, Starbucks, this thing came right back down. A lot of names, retail names, do not look that good. Airbnb, again, these names just kind of flying through them. Choppy, sloppy patterns. I don't want nothing to do with them. Coinbase, we talked about this one blowing off. DKNG, people got real mad when I said you should short it up here in like the 40s, upper 40s. Yep, you're welcome. Near term, that does look like a little bit of a capitulation bottom. I know they're doing a deal with ESPN. Maybe that could be help them out, bail them out. Costco, this has been a leader, but seems to be just nothing. I mean, consolidating. FedEx, talked about buying this in the 215 area when it was holding this area. Seems to be, again, this is where it gets a little tricky. Like if the market's about to dump, why are some of these names, I mean, again, going to the holidays, but they're holding up. Speaking of watching, we talked about financials chopping around. SoFi, again, like this one, but just worth a watch. I mean, if you bought it down in the 1920, looking good. Hood, we talked about how this one was a beast. They said all summer this was going to just rip. You're welcome now that summer's over. Don't be surprised if it consolidates. JP Morgan, I mean, again, I know they're holding bags, but holding up. Morgan Stanley, holding up really well. Bank of America back near all-time highs. Goldman Sachs, right, holding up pretty good. This is where it's like, the financials seem to be holding up. Carry, where it even is been bouncing and chopping around, right? I mean, it doesn't really look good, but keep an eye on it. XBI, keep an eye on that one, right? Keep an eye. I'm trying to think of anything else. Again, I want to get more into these commodity names because this is where I am heavy watching in oil and gas. So XLB, we talked about this one. Anytime you see it in the mid 80s, it should hold. It seems to be holding again. I'm not really trading the index. I just watch it. Right? Dow, we talked about this name just being wild. People are like, oh, I'm going to buy long-term call. I'm like, this could be a bottoming process. It looks kind of ugly. CE had earnings. And man, I did not grab this one. I had my alert set. I missed it by a couple pennies. This is one I like because it has consolidated since almost last year, February. Look at the volume, and you're retesting a third time's a charm. Again, CE looks good. Caterpillar, we talked. I mean, dude, mining. That one's hard not to want to buy it, but man, if it pulls back, I would think it looks pretty good. Deere chopping. Nucor, we said, Buffett buying this. You're not going to lose in the end, again, because it looks like it's bottomed. IIIN, this is one that we talked about for a while being a nice popper. I was drawing this on the computers in Idaho. I was like, So if you see that one, I mean, again, put that on your list. IIIN at 30 makes a lot of sense. Valet, you're welcome if you bought this in the 9s. We talked about this one for a while, chopping. I mean, this is someone, someone hit me and goes, I sold today. I'm good with it. I'm like, duder, you're just breaking the weekly downtrend. Right? You're just breaking it. I'm going to send that to him right now. It's like, what are you doing? Of everything that is holy. You don't. What do you do? I'm going to post this one in the Discord room too. Like, why? Well, it's acting strong, so I'm going to dump it. Okay. You do what you got to do. Valley. Yeah. Arrow, again, one that we talked about. If you bought this one down, what, 9 area? Some of the folks in the Discord room pointed out some really good range. Again, I mean, I guess I should just say Eric pointed this one. He said, take profits up here. He was right. Watch the 50-day. Seems to be holding up again. Looking good. Stuff we talked about for the long term. FQVLF, you bought the 15 breakout. Pretty good. SCCO, again, we talked about these names. Looking strong. Freeport. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting, right? Because Freeport's had the issues with their mines at flooding in Indonesia. I was like, oh my God, 38 again. I think this one has a lot of value. URNJ, again, we talked about the nuke sector. Again, I like it, but I'm also, again, like it was due to pull back. Like Oklo, I mean, I told you guys like this thing was nuts when it was here. And then it went nuts, and now people, I don't want to buy this one at all. And I'm saying dude a lot, but the point of why I'm saying is because I think it's blown off. Like that's pretty wild. I mean, if you go look at what they actually do and what they've made, I'd rather, and again, I've been posting this EOSE. I've said high and tight is bullish. And then the earnings came out, and here we go. And I was also talking about some folks, I'm like, did you not notice like it kind of broke what I would consider the flag? Watch what happens here. Again, I think this could be a, shit, I wish I had the fib extensions on here. I think, remember right, I was thinking 24 to 26. CCJ has been a boss, right? You know, if you bought this in the 30s, nice work. Chopping around. CF, again, I like the ag names, but with farmers struggling, I don't know. You know, if you bought the Mosaic trade back in the day at 22, man, if you didn't take any profits, round trip. NTR, you know, I like these names, but fuck. SQM is one that we've liked. You're welcome. Especially if you bought it at 32. Looking pretty good. AA, again, if you bought this one down in the, it seemed like low 20s. It's been a grinder. Again, I like aluminum. Again, all these names, like I like them on pullbacks. Again, ag one's a little tough with farmers right now, but price it in. Kalu posted this in the Discord room. I am a big fan of the setup. If you've ever seen, you know, I used to follow TraderFlorida.net. Again, good dude. Don't need to say much about who he is, but he has, because he's a good dude other than that. But his systems, he loves a gap up near the highs after consolidation pattern on huge volume. That is the huge volume. It's very cut and dry. And waiting for this pullback was on lighter volume. Right? I love this setup. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Because in my mind, somebody was buying at the highs and held it. And then again, market got sloppy and choppy, and it's still holding up. I think this thing could go to $110 pretty fucking quick. CRML is an interesting one. We put this one on the list. Speaking of like rare earth metals, like again, they got the Greenland on lock. Was watching this one. You know, we talked about trading it. Got stopped out. So I'm like, again, this is why I think stops. Thank God. I did not think this would get down to 10. But then today you got the news. Look at this, man. You got right. We talk about high volume, high candles and lows. Loved it. Like, look at this. Fucking unreal. There, look where it bounces. Bought MP today. They had their earnings. I mean, I bought CRML. Bought some MP. Look at MPs. I was like, man, I had in my mind. Why is it not showing that? Oh, okay. Sorry. I changed it because I was like, the move is done. I was watching this sucker and I was like, man, if this thing gets back down to the 0.618 here, like fills this gap, right? And again, I mean, easily 70s, right? And this is where I change it because I think the move is in. And people would say, well, how do you know that's the bottom? Outside reversal candle on large volume. Keep it simple, stupid. Got around 50 to 53. And I even bought some at like 56. I'm like, man, this thing looks good. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and say that the whole thing is done. SLI is another one I'm just keeping an eye on. Some of these cheap ones, keep an eye on that. REMX hit the 0.382. Bounce. Cliff bought this one today and yesterday. Watching the 200-day 0.618 again. These are gifts. easily get back to 12 or 13. I mean, you do the math, it's 20, 30% on your money. Pretty solid. And let's end it with, solar, oil, and gas. We've talked about some of the solar names. We talked about they were bouncing. They've had nice runs. Again, Sedge, I've never been a big fan of EMPH, but Sedge got the freaking solid bounce. Near term, man, that's interesting. Again, EMPH, I don't trust them. I've said this many times. I think they suck. And I've been proven correct. Again, I should probably remove this off the name list. First Solar, again, we talked about liking this one. You're welcome. Sloppy. I mean, it's not easy, not sloppy, but just wildness, right? HYG, right? Here you go. Corporate debt. Keep an eye on this because it seems to be just chopping around the highs. And then again, we'll go back to oil and gas here. I like oil names and certain gas names, right? Keep an eye on it. UNG. Again, I talk about, I hate this fucking product, but if you shorted the KOLD up near the 40s, you're going to get paid, in my opinion. XOP, we talked about like waiting for the back test of the breakout because it just couldn't confirm. Look at this. I mean, the XOP here, look at that guy. Chicka bow wow. I mean, you got 50, 100. I mean, this is a nice little consolidation pattern. If you're familiar with Gartley ABC patterns, 98 to 135, it's 37 points. Add 37 points from the pivot point. And takes you up in the 159 area. Let's just draw that. Where would that be? Oh, man, that'd be right back up here. All right. Keep an eye on her. Man, can we go back to all-time highs and oil service names? I mean, Trump is not going to back down from being energy independent. We'll see. Again, there's some names like Halliburton that look like they're going to get bought out. MPC, we talk about how the gasoline names typically lead. They pull back hard, but they're holding up pretty damn well. Worth a watch. Valero, right? Keep an eye on it. ExxonMobil, we talked about this one. You could buy the dips. It's a sloppy one. BP, man, this is interesting. I mean, back down in the 25 range. Nice. Seems to be holding up. Oxy said Buffett ain't going to lose. Man, hit my alarm. I'm just putting on an Oxy 40. I don't know. I feel like it's already bottoming. That one looks good. Devon Energy, I think they had earnings 2 days ago. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Apache, jump on it. Holding up pretty well, right? A lot of these names are just building off of big bases. Lyondale bases, which is interesting, right? Some of these chemical names worth a watch. Had a nice bounce, and this is where you always have to just, I mean, you don't always know. But it's worth a watch. Again, I don't want to go out there and go nuts and say, gotta buy it. But something like that's it, man. You gotta love when you have like a channel, especially for lows. You break below it, and if it rallies back, you know what that was. Bear trap. CVE, worth a watch, right? Seems to be holding up. LNG. Put this on the watch list for folks. Said, man, this area right here, right now. No tomorrow. Watch that. I mean, 205 area. Seems very, very, very cute. Last but not least, EQT and Flex LNG. We talked about EQT when I was out of town. I was like, man, I like this dip. We talked about this dip. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Last but not least, Flex LNG, because I think we'll be natural gas exporters. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Again, you have any questions? Consult financial advisor. Hit me up if you want. If you're doing real estate deals, looking to buy, sell, invest, again, you get 2 agents for the price of one. Again, please share all the love, support, Generations. You guys are amazing people. And we'll try to do more recaps if I get more interaction, more people interested. If not, Discord room is where it's at. Twitter, I'll be posting some ideas too. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.